Oh, Jesus Christ.
They
The
had the
robot.
creepy, one of the
That's
creepiest
he
voices they
cannot
could find.
he cannot record in silence. Let me do this so that they don't know.
Yeah,
Recording.
he has to announce that he's here. I mean,
Yeah.
though, that's actually a good thing though, because imagine if you're having a private conversation and the other guy or whatever, they would just invite Craig and Craig would be silent and they would be silently recording. That'd be weird. So yeah, Craig, announce yourself. That's fine. It's okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. We don't mind. We don't mind. Interesting that you thought of that, though, George.
Yeah.
Interesting that you went there. Why? Oh, anyway. So whenever Yaz is ready, we can.
Oh, I was born ready.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
The moment we've been waiting for.
for all my life.
I was very young when I was born.
Sounds something like people do.
Yes.
Arma, whenever you want, you can just cue us in. You're gonna be doing the introductions today because you're a
Me
fanboy.
again. All right.
I already told Yaz you're a fanboy, so
You have to keep these parts out, man.
no, I'm not. I'm not gonna do
What
that.
the fuck is happening? No.
I'm a degenerate like that.
So, am I doing the welcome message again? Like,
why did you do it? Did you do it on the first episode? Because
No.
you didn't. Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So, as you've probably noticed, we've been recording over a minute already. But welcome back to Parsing Grace.
Yay!
Yay.
Episode 2.
Episode
We're
2.
still here.
Without
name is
audio
so
issues,
fitting.
probably. Sorry. Yeah.
Man, Spotify has yet to shut us down.
Yeah.
Amazing. You know what I learned? And kudos to Rob, our guildmate. Rob, if you're hearing this, I love you. I learned recently that spelling Grace with an A is the American way of doing it. The European way is spelling Grace with an E. So, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Europe. I failed you.
Doesn't mean we have to do it all over again.
No. We can keep going. So, yeah. What was the point of this podcast when we started it? To give to shed some light into our community and specifically to some of the guilds that we have. To go behind the how can I say that? Behind the curtains of the recruiting messages and whatnot, to actually show the person behind the character in a way. And this is the first episode that we're going to do that officially. And we're going to have Sparks here with us and Yaz with us. So, welcome, Yaz. And thanks for being here.
Thank you for inviting.
Yeah, we'd love to have you. I mean, we were thinking you were the first person that Alex thought of when we said
I really did, because I believe Yaz is really the heart and soul of the server.
Oh, there we go. So I'm going to allow Yaz to introduce herself, and then you're going to have to explain to everyone why you're such a big fanboy.
Can we do this the other way around?
Yeah, cool. Alex, please explain why you're such a fanboy.
Oh, all right.
Can you tell why I'm here?
All right. So, how met Yaz in the first place? So, when we started playing Classic again last summer, after the endless spam in the trade chat and they're looking for group chats, I bumped upon some of Yaz's messages about doing the classic exhaustion raids that she used to do with Sparks and friends.
I still do.
Yeah, you still do. So it was just a casual, whisper that, that would interest me, because I didn't have the chance. I just started playing. It was TBC already. So after a casual whisper, she let me in, and I joined some of the runs they were doing in Naxxramas 40 at that time. And after joining one to like 5, 6 rounds with them, it became kind of a habit because it was an event that you really enjoyed to join.
Hmm.
Because you could feel the energy the group had, because it was mostly the same people. I mean, it was just an off day, it was an off day, and it was an event created in their Discord that had people, it had more sign-ups than our guild has right now to raid Ultra 25.
I see.
So yeah, and the energy was insane in these groups.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that's how I met her. I became a fanboy.
what bigger credential would you require actually? So yes, um, from what I've heard from Alex and from his introduction now, um, I just want to comment something before I pass the baton. Is it to you to introduce yourself and introduce Sparks and what you guys do? I feel like you're really good at keeping people together. That's what I can. That's what I
I
can
hope.
gather. And have fun while doing that also, which is a skill that I'd love to have myself, but I don't. So I really admire you for doing that. So yeah, if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself and about Sparks as well.
It's gonna be a long story.
Go ahead. We're here for it.
Yeah.
So I don't know how detailed version you want that to be, but like, so Spark was created in Hydrax's own Warlords, that is a RP server, or was,
Mm.
and back in 2019. I joined the guild, I think that next summer, 2020. I wanted to raid and I couldn't do that in my guild where I was. Um, the server, it was really tight, like tight knit community. We had maybe 7 raiding guilds. So
No.
one of the one of the guild masters kind of took me as well, he kind of decided that I'm the enemy. So that made it
What?
really hard. Yeah. So that made it really hard for me to decide whether I want to continue on that server or did I want to move out. And I got the chance to join the Sparks. And sadly, the guild was crumbling when I joined. Um,
Mhm.
it was a time when the raids required 40 people, and that's a lot.
Mm,
Um,
the classic
so
way.
yeah, so half of the people were those that joined to the guild at the first. They were just socials, and then they started trading, so they took raiders, and it was really hard time to keep all those in the same raiding guild. So when I joined, and it was about the AQ40 was going to be released, um, and a lot of raiders left to, better raiding guilds. So then we were kind of left out with the socials, and that didn't work. So I became an officer of the guild, and we decided to merge with the guilds where I came from
Mhm.
because I knew the people, and actually one of the most incredible person I have ever met in Classic, it was from that guild as well, and he kind of showed me how to treat people. So he is like my voice of reason,
Hmm.
Mm.
and we merged back with that guild. Um, but as you know, the merges usually don't work. Few of the best raiders that we had got the spot, and others were just completely left. Like they were benched all the time. There was no future for them in that guild. And I got a lot of feedback, like, why did we do that? And all that kind of stuff. Um, After 2 weeks, I decided that I would go back to Sparks. And the guild master that we have had for like 1 month, he decided to stay in that merging guild. And I was like, okay, well, so how are you gonna do that? Like, I'm here in Sparks, and the guildmaster of Sparks is now in the new guild. Like, could I try being a guildmaster? And he was like, oh my god, that's a brilliant idea. So he just gave me the TM role. I came back with about 5 people. And as I said earlier, it was really a dying server already at that point. But there seemed to be a huge lack of our type of guild because everyone else was raiding, they were competing, they were doing AQ40. When I was starting this guild back up, I had to take all the socials, all the new players, all like people that didn't want to just raid log, and it required a lot. We needed to start gearing them up. We went to the Molten Core and BVL and all that kind of stuff when everyone else was focusing on Nax.
Yeah.
And people were laughing, of course, because, well, who would like to join to, the noob group? And
You were labeled the noob group?
Kinda, yeah. And people were laughing, like, why am I even bothering to just give up, And I
Was it even
recruited.
harder being in an RP server, doing that? All the merge and disband and going back to guild,
It
etc.
was basically you were not able to recruit any of the raiders, so we
Right.
were only able to focus on the new people that wanted to join to RP server, and those usually are not like really competitive players. So we decided to go with the social stuff, and in 4 weeks I recruited 400 players to the guild.
What?
Yes, on a dying server. We did reach 1K. That was at that time, at least. It was a limit. So we actually had to purge the guild like 3 times because we had too many people. We reached the total fucking limit. And yeah. Then
Dude, how do you even recruit someone on an RP server? Like, what do you tell them?
Yeah, true. That's the magic. Tell us, please.
I still think nowadays, like, I don't know if there's any actual, like, I don't know what was the magic behind it, but we gave everyone the opportunity to start raiding, and they were not able to do that in the guilds that were already doing Naxxramas. Those people were geared and knowledge and all that kind of stuff. Our main raider, our main tank, went to UBRS and didn't know how to loss pull, and that was our main tank. And he still is.
He's still with us.
He's still with us. Oh, the glory to Krend. Yeah, so my my officer had to teach him how to loss pull.
So does he lost pool now in Ulduar, or are there issues?
No,
What's going on?
he's really a special guy. He just charges in,
Oh.
And then we just follow.
Yeah, I love these people, honestly. I do.
That's why it's easier for me to be his healer. Because then I know that he's
Because
going.
yeah.
When I was a hunter, it was also easy because I could just misdirect everything to him because I knew that he is just going ahead like a steam train, like going ahead. Like, can you wait a bit? Yeah, I'm going. Oh, the rage!
The fact that you still follow him, though, and he's still the main tank, that says a lot.
Yep.
Wow. So, I just before we continue to, because I really want to get into how you take a guild of 1,000 people and you transfer them over to another server. How do you do that? Because that sounds like very complicated. I really wanted to talk a little bit about, but although well, it's not an interview, but this talk is mostly about how sparks are today. But yeah,
Mhm.
I, I would love to know a little bit more about how you guys handled the merging, because you mentioned earlier that usually merges don't go that well. So
Mhm.
you've been a guild master for 3 years now. Well,
Yeah.
like you mentioned, I mean,
Yes.
uh, I don't know how you did that. Anyway, congrats. But
Yes.
I think that there are probably a lot of people in the community that might be thinking of a merge, or and
Mm.
they're kind of afraid. So if you have like a few tips on what could go wrong or what you can
Don't
do
do
better,
that.
don't merge. That's it.
Don't
Plan,
merge.
plan it straight. All right.
I have heard so much about the merging, and
Hmm,
there's maybe 1% of 10 that is like actually working.
right.
When we have recruited people, we always try to keep it as really minimum if we take people from the guild that is disbanding, for example. We
Hmm.
kind of try to keep it on max 5, because the more people you take from one guild, that creates a guild inside the guild. And
Yeah,
that's
sure.
always really
Oh, I
dangerous.
see.
Yeah.
I see.
They don't where's the word? They don't kind of get inside because they try to stick with their own group that they already know. So
I see.
that's also hard. And it's hard for them as well. And then comes the raiding style and the raid leading and the raid tactics. So we want to do it this way and we want to do it that way. So it's easier to take just a few people because then you kind of get to know them at the same time when they're joining.
I mean, I really get you now for the merge because we were in a similar situation with Dell back in our previous guild, and we were constantly nagging the leader about merging because we didn't have enough signups. But
Mm,
now that we think of it, it's like changing the friends you have built for over, let's say, a year or so, and getting
Mm,
someone else in that
yeah,
you don't even know how they're going to react to things, how they're going to
yeah,
behave, anything. And
yeah,
if you get a lot of people, like you said, max, 5 max people, yeah, it would change a lot
yes, yeah.
in the ecosystem you're trying to build.
And also, if you recruit people that are maybe a bit more focused or want to push a bit more than the people
hmm.
that you had already, that also creates conflicts because then you need to decide which road you're gonna take. Are you going to stick with the social part and be the data guild the, the rest of your life, or would you like to try a bit more comparative guild?
Yeah.
And that would mean the people that you already had in the guild, they need to change. And that's a lot of risks that comes with it.
Right. So how do you decide which 5 people? Let's say that the magic number is 5. Uh, who would be that 5 people?
Um, Usually it's someone that contacts first, and then they say, "Oh, I have these my friends, and we have been together for 2 years or however." And then we see like, okay, well, yeah, yeah, okay, just bring them in. We have
I see.
we just took in from a guild. I think we took 5 or 6. They were doing actually I was helping them out in their raids, and then we kind of twisted it around and they started joining my bugs. Now they're in a guild. But because we couldn't fit them to the raid team, to the main raid team, we told
Hmm.
them that we have the Monday 25 and then we have the 10 mins, and now they are part of the.
Yeah,
Few of
point.
them are raiding in the main raid team, and a few are raiding whenever they want to. Because we still want to keep the stuff in a social way, and that's why we have these off-raid days as well. People can sign up whenever they want to, um, or they can just take a 2 weeks vacation. That's fine.
Hmm.
I've really come to the point that really the best way to recruit now is, if you have the like pack runs and alt runs which other people join. I
Mm.
really believe nowadays that it's the best way to see if a character fits your roster in all ways.
Yes and no. If anyone who would actually be sane person wouldn't join to my guild after the Monday's pug.
All right.
I see.
It contains of new people and it contains a lot of alts, freshly dinged, green gear, everything is shit. We wipe, we barely kill Yogg. Oh, like, would you like to turn to the guild like that?
Hey, that was fun. Do you like? Would you want to join us?
Actually,
we
we
wiped
just
like 50 times.
actually we just recruited one this week. He took part once to my Monday raid, and he was like, "Oh my god, this is so fun! Can I join to your guild?"
Yeah,
I was like, "Are you
See?
serious?"
yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Exactly.
Yeah, that's a guild member for life, I think. Yeah. I wanted to ask. I'm gonna go a little bit back again about the merging because it's
Yep.
interesting to me because like Armoranth mentioned,
Mhm.
I personally used to pester my guild master and the other officers in my previous guild about merging because
Mhm.
I'm ignorant like that, honestly,
Mm.
and I'm like, I mean, what could go wrong, But now
Yep.
there are like 10 different avenues that can actually go wrong, and I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
maybe I should have kept my mouth shut.
Yeah.
So what do you do with the with the officers of the guild that you absorb? Let's say you're the big guild and they're the one that's falling apart. So what do you do with them?
Most of the times, I would say 98% or 99% of them say, I don't want to have any of responsibility anymore. They are
Oh, I see.
so done with being a guild master. They're so done with being an officer because they went to all the shit before they started thinking about the merging or going to another guilds. It's it's really tough to be a GM or an officer because that's a lot of stuff that you need to take care of. So
Hmm.
I think I have had only one in my 3 years that was asking what happens to my officer rank. I said, well, you're a member.
Right.
Welcome to the team.
Man. Yeah. And here you are doing it for 3 years now.
Mhm.
Being responsible and having responsibilities and all that stuff for 3 years. How do you manage really?
uh,
Like from a human to another human, how do you do it?
I am that kind of a person that doesn't give up. I think that's the
Right.
good place where to start. If I start something, I'm gonna do it. And I'm not like, okay, this doesn't work, I'm gonna quit. I could have done that when we transferred. I could have done that when we lost 10 of our main raid team in TBC. There are
Hmm.
many times when I could have just like, okay, I'm so done with this shit. But for some reason, even when I wasn't the one who made this guild, I joined there. So,
Right.
like, I don't have the actual rules for this guild. I didn't decide the name or anything like that, so I don't have that kind of stuff. But I, I just don't give up, and I kind of feel like I own it to the guild as well.
Wow. I moved. I really am. I really am.
I have been in
It's
raid like um last year. Yeah, it kind of needs some sort of insanity as well to actually being able to do that. I'm
sort of.
I'm I'm ADHD, so for me it's really easy, but it's also it comes with an like dealing with the people for me is really hard because
Yeah.
I burst out everything and I kind of should think first when I'm speaking or writing. So that's on them kind of to understand and let to know me. But
Hmm.
then again, they get the guild that is not going anywhere. So
Yeah, but that's why maybe what they love about you, and they,
Yeah.
and they stay there.
I remember I recruited one. He was from a guild that disbanded. He got to a new one, and that disbanded 2 weeks after. And he was so hesitating to join. And I said,
Mm-hmm.
well, if you join us, this is your place. You don't need to worry that this guild is going to disband or anything. We're going to be here. I'm going to put my everything into this guild. And he was like, okay, yeah. And he's still here.
I
That's
mean,
interesting.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know you that much, but from what I hear, I really do admire you because it takes a lot of dedication to be that passionate and, like you mentioned, being holding yourself accountable really to the people that you have in the guild. I mean, congrats, and I can only tip my hat, honestly. Doing this for 3 years and maintaining a guild of how many people are you now? Are you 1,000 now, or
No, not on this server. I can actually check.
well, you got 2 guilds? Are you maintaining 2 guilds now?
No.
Oh, I see.
We have almost 400.
Oh, I
So
see.
it's not that
So,
much.
but 400, like including alts and everything, right?
Yeah, we have 156, but this time we have been working with the actual purge, and we decided to remove players that have been offline more than 6 months.
How many of them
Right.
And
are?
that feels so
I bet. I bet. Yeah.
How many of them
Uh,
are, active or still as socials? I mean, not the raiders only, social or
bad.
just stick around.
I
hmm.
could say that maybe. Oh, I could say that I know 95% of the guildies.
Wow.
Yeah, that's insane.
Wow.
There
Yeah,
might
you're
be
you're
there might be few that I haven't been playing or talking with, but that's a really small number.
Yeah, and
wow.
that's what I was talking about. That's still in Sparks only, right? That's when you bring the bigger circle. That's the whole community,
Yeah.
and the extras that join Sparks
Mhm.
raids and the pugs and the
Mhm.
classic extortions and everything.
Yeah. And since I started the GM stuff, I
hmm
we started doing the guild events. We do those still every last Friday of the month. We had the guild event. So we do have a lot of stuff outside the rating as well. And I actually did ask today from my officers, like, okay, I'm going to have this interview. Do you have, like, they have been in this guild almost as long as I have. I recruited all my officers. And
hmm
I did ask them, like, do you have, like, could you say something that comes to your mind first when you're talking about our guild? And each of one of them said things that were from the social stuff. None of them said like, "Oh, it's the time when we killed Gatoon first time," or "It's when we did this," or "When we raided there," or whatever. There was one immortal that someone said about the immortal raid, but everything else was the social related stuff about the guild events and about the death race and when we transferred over and had that farewell party in Hydraxian, uh, and all that kind of stuff. So it is really huge thing, and that's where we want to put the effort. We
And
also have a Friday meetings in Discord as well.
Like
that's one way to keep your community active. And I believe
Yes,
you got a lot of memories and screenshots and
yes,
recordings to prove.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Not every
You've
guild
seen stuff.
Not every guild has a guild master that was known in a previous server to be drunk every Friday.
I see. That sounds fun.
So everyone knew, like, okay, Yes, Friday. Yes, it's drunk.
We already know it. I mean,
I don't do that anymore, okay?
Thursday,
And
12 a.m. There it is, boys.
tonight it's Friday. There we go.
Oh yeah, I didn't catch up to that. That's true. So I see why Amaranth is a big fun boy. I can say, well deserved, well deserved. It's hard to maintain all that and create an actual community. Like, I don't know, and please correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think that it might be like easier to create a guild. Well, not easier, but you know what I mean. To create a guild that's going for achievements and stuff, and pushing for server firsts and whatever. But it's harder to actually create a real community that'll be there through thick and thin. Um, yes,
I
please
think
correct me.
I
Please.
think you're right
Huh.
because those. This is just my own opinion, and I
Mhm.
haven't been in that kind of guilds only at the beginning. But for me, it feels like the people that are on those top guilds and yada yada, they are the raid loggers. They log
Mm.
into the raid, they get their shit done, and then they're gone again. Or they see that, okay, this guild is doing better, maybe they have a spot for me. So they try to
Mm.
rank themselves up all the time. It's like going to the job, you always try to get yourself up the stairs.
Yeah.
But I think those people are, yeah, I think they're different. The mindset is different. And these people that we have, let's say from the social side, then they are fine whatever the rates are basically, as long as you make some sort of progress.
And
Yeah.
the best experience must be to, achieve these things, but to do it with your own way, especially
Yes.
with your own community. That's the best
Mm,
feeling ever.
yeah. And we have had a lot of
So
those moments as well.
yeah, that's where I was going next. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be hard for you to pick your favorite moment like ever. So keep this
Please don't
hold this
ask.
thought. Yeah, hold this thought, and maybe at the end, maybe if you can find an answer, we'd love to hear it. I wanted to go to another part of it. So 3 years as a guild master.
Mhm.
Managed a server transfer with I don't know how many people followed, but I bet there were more than 10, I guess.
Almost. Yeah. I think
Yeah.
almost all of the raiders did transfer over, and some of the socials as well.
I mean, people love you. It's clear. So
They
managing
don't.
managing merges, managing all this lovely community that, dare I say, might be the most tight knit that there is on the server, at least in terms of guilds. Uh, I'm sorry if I offended anybody with this. I don't know everyone, but from what I've heard, at least, what would be a moment where you can remember and be like, I fucked up there, and if you can remember that one moment or that one decision that you made that ended up being a mistake, and you thought that
Is this
if you had the chance, you would do better.
is this the part when I go like, "Forgive me, Father, I have sinned"?
No. It's mostly about you've walked like a few miles as a GM. So if there's anybody out there who has been a newly GM or they want to be a GM, it was my way of transitioning into what would you advise them to do, like,
we
and I'm yeah.
Mhm. One of the biggest mistake was back in TBC when we had transferred over, and we had a lot of people that wanted to join the guilds and they wanted to start raiding, but we didn't have a spot in main raid team. So we
Right.
decided that okay, we will make another one like we have now the Monday stuff, but instead we that started to build up as a new raid team. So we decided to go with that, and we actually made like a team of that as well. So then we had the proggies that was pushing a bit more, and then we had like the slackers being sparkles, right? Not taking that seriously. But it worked fine at the beginning, and the idea behind it was really nice. And it kind of gave us the chance to decide which one of the teams was better for this person and that person. And the balance was nice, but then it started to get to the point where both of those teams were kind of competing, because it was, if someone from the proggy left or quit the game, then it was kind of easy to grab those from the other team, because they already knew the stuff from the guilds and they were geared. So that was like a inevitable thing that we took them to the other team. But then that created a hole in that team, and also bad plot, because so that team just comes and takes the best players of our team. And it started to be like a guild war inside the guild.
Oh.
And that's when we lost 10 of our good raiders in that point.
Ouch.
And yeah, that was tough.
Yeah, man, that sucks. And you being the person that you are, and you caring so much about the guild, I guess it would have been hard for you.
Oh, yes, that was really bad.
Yeah, I see. So, enough with the
So we have
backmasking.
decided that we are not going to make a new team of this Monday stuff. That's why we just stuck it up and be as bad if we don't have these thoughts anymore.
I see. So, hey, other guilds don't do that. Just avoid it.
Yeah. Well, I do know that there's, especially on Alliance, when we transferred here, I heard about the Alliance guild that they had like 4 raid teams, I think, or something. But I think those teams are on the same level. They are same experienced players, and they know the stuff, and then it works. But then if you have like the team A and then the team Z or whatever that is, like really bottom, then that might create these issues inside the guild.
Yeah, I believe it always happens. It happened back then in the original game. It happens now, especially with it all starts from the 10 months, because you can't get more than 10 in one group and get them all together. So
yeah, those people that left the procky group, most of them were raiding their own 10-man raiding. So they were together really tightly. So yeah, but it's understandable, because the more you feel like, oh, this annoys me, oh, now they're doing this, oh, now they're doing that, the more focus, the more you put focus to that stuff, so you see them, and then it comes more and more and more. So of course you start feeling like, oh, well, this is not a good thing. It's easier than to leave. And then negativity creates more negativity. So, but we have learned, and now we do have 10-man raiding, 2 to 3 times a week, but all of those are free for all the guildies to join.
What a great transition, by the way. I feel like you should be running this podcast, honestly, not us. That was a great transition. So let's talk about the present. How are you guys hurrying up? What is it that you're looking for in a recruit, and what classes you might be looking for recently to add to your guild, and what's Old War looking like for you guys?
Where do I start from? we have never recruited someone by the class or spec. We have recruited by the player. Sometimes we do need to pay attention that maybe 1 month ago, 2 months ago, one of my officers who is responsible of the melees was like, yes, we really can. We have 10 melees, and that kind of sucks in Uldor. And I was like, yeah, but this dude is awesome. He's really nice. So, and we also had one really good warlock. He asked if he could swap to Retribution Paladin. And
Wow.
it's not good for the face comp. It's not good for our damage either. But
why would you do that anyway? But yeah, anyway.
if that is what you want to play,
yeah, true.
then you swapped it out, because we do this for fun. We play for fun. And it sucks to play something that you don't like.
yeah.
That becomes a job.
It really does.
Yeah. So in our guild, we're trying to just, okay, then we just have one more retribution. That's fine, I guess.
Did you reach a point where you say it's not working? You know, like having 10, 15 melees or something?
I think twice a week, every time when we're raiding.
we constantly have that problem.
It's not working. But we do have a lot of fun in our raids, I need to admit. And the guild they are awesome. Because they need to understand that some days we have people that they have real life, like other than I do. And they might be offline once in a while. So we might not be always 25 people.
George really doesn't get that sometimes.
No. I don't. That's true. Guilty.
I was once in the voice chat starting a raid. We were already gathering, the invites were up. And people were like, yes, are you okay? And I was like, I have been bleeding the whole day, and I kind of feel like a bit nauseous and a bit weak. And people are like, what the fuck? Why are you
I'm still here?
You need to go. So I called 112, and they said, okay, so how are you feeling? Do you come here by taxi? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. I will just come by taxi. And maybe 2 minutes later, I had to call an ambulance because I started to throw up, and I almost passed out because losing all the blood. That was a few weeks after my surgery, and the stitches opened, and they just everything like flooded out. So I almost died, but I was there in the fucking raid.
But I was there. So
even in the ambulance, I was in the Discord.
People missing, you should be listening to that.
So just sign up already. Don't slack.
Yeah.
What do you mean you hurt your finger? You need to raid.
You mean you have responsibilities? What?
And I remember I said in server Discord, because I'm the staff member there, and I did send them a message like, okay, I'm back in the hospital. I might not be sorting the stuff out. And there I was, lying in a hospital bed, sorting the Discord stuff out. And I remember back saying like, hey, you were supposed to be away. Yeah, but I'm bored.
Man, you really love this.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
I need to say that sometimes I get some notes from my family as well. Oh, you're in Discord again. I'm really reachable to the Discord, yes.
Yeah, really outside Sparks now. I see you're a staff member of the
man.
Raceway Classic Community Discord server. So
yes.
You're a really prominent figure. How that happened? How did you,
I actually don't know how that happened. I don't remember that I was being that active, but
I just said yes to a random message, and one thing led to another.
It was
Max,
Friday. I was drunk.
Max asked me if like, oh, we saw that we did talk about you. Would you like to be a staff? You seem really active. Well, I guess I could do that. I'm here 20 hours a day anyways. And now I'm even more some days, I think.
But yeah, that's a joint effort, right? That's a alliance and horde effort. So, do you communicate with other, the other side?
With the
Sorry?
other side.
Yeah, I mean, it's a joint effort of alliance and horde.
Mm,
So, do you have a constant communication, with the other side, how it's for the alliance here, since you're
nah,
horde?
not really. I do pay attention to recruit messages and lead people to the actual channels where they are supposed to be.
Oh, right.
But not really. The alliance side is kind of unfamiliar for me. I don't have alliance characters or anything like that, so I stick with the horde.
So, back to recruiting. You guys, you maintain a very healthy community and a very healthy atmosphere, while also being very, let's say, successful, because you are successful, like 40 out of 54 in the 25 man. Hey, that's successful. It's above average, so it is successful. Like, what's the secret sauce? I mean, one thing that you said was like we just let everybody play whatever they want, and we just recruit the person and not the class. We recruit the player basically.
Yeah.
How do you figure that out? How do you figure if you have the right person with you? Do you have like a trial period, let's say, and
Yeah.
how do you figure out in that trial period, which I assume it's not going to be like a year, so how do you figure out that this guy is, yeah, he's a spark?
We have the trial period is 3 raids, 3 main raids, so that's 1.5 weeks. It's not much, but because we are a social guild, we also pay attention how they are interacting with the others in Discord and in the guild chat and in the voice chat as well. And they kind of need to have the understanding for vibing, for example. If they start to be like, we never get this down. Yep, you're out. I don't want to
Oh,
hear
okay.
that. So that's not the spirit that we want.
I see.
And we do use Discord voice chat as well, and our raids are pretty vocal as well. Sometimes we do need to shut up, me included. Like last night, I was called to actually focus at the fight. So, but healing at Vesax is really annoying and boring.
Yeah.
It's boring indeed. I can agree to that.
Do you think that this though kind of creates, like, let's say, quote unquote, a barrier for people who are more, let's say, quiet or laid back or shy? Because if they're not social, then how do you figure out if they're the right kind?
Well, being shy, then they can also write in the guild chat or in Discord and so etc. But most of those have been fine. But I would also like to say that this is kind of brings a bridge back to the very beginning. I told you that my life was made really hard on the Hydraxian.
Yeah.
And I wanted to raid Naxxramas, and there was only one raid team that was organizing pugs, and they did host in Naxxramas. So I did everything else with my guild, and then I did the Naxxramas because, well, we were raiding Molten Core, so we could go to Naxxramas with that gear, or with that tank, as I told before.
My favorite guy. ever.
He's a legend, yes. So this person had contacted the leader that do not take me in because I'm such a blah. And but he decided to take me in. He always said that people deserve a second chance, and thanks to Cart, that's what I have been trying to keep on myself as well. And we do have had almost all the people from Horde warning list when I joined to the Discord server. We have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people from there in our guild as raiders. Because we were kind of the only guilds that gave them a chance. So I can give you a second chance in our guild and to take you in to raid with us. But if you fuck up, then you're gone.
Right.
So the
What
history
would
doesn't
you?
matter, but
Mhm.
the way how you do in that moment and in that guild where you are, that matters.
Yeah, yeah. No. How do you like? How do you define a fuck up? Like, I don't know, being a shit person in general, or
Oh, that's a tough question. I think it just gives you
that's why I'm
chance
here.
to like. Because I know that there's a lot of people that don't like me either. I'm really hard. It's really
No,
no. I can be really charming, I guess, but I'm just such a bitch that people are like, "Oh, what the fuck? How is that the GM?"
you're
So
passionate. You're passionate. Yeah, that's what you should be. That's what you should be saying. You're passionate. It's all passion, basically.
Has anyone really brought you to that breaking point recently? I mean, so you can just go nuts.
Bitch mode. Yeah,
Yeah,
engage.
bitch mode.
I tried to leave that bitch mode to Hydraxian, and like because one of my officers were like, "Yes, you can't be that harsh." Like you fucking, I need to tell 8 times to stack up on this mob. I can't say please every fucking time. You need to move.
Dude, I feel you.
Yeah, but I try to keep it a bit more nicer nowadays. And then I read on the guild master page how people are calling their guildies idiots and asshats and whatever, and I'm like, oh my god, they are so rude.
Yeah, I mean that's actually a really good thing that you mentioned. There's a difference between being assertive
Mm,
and expecting things that should be happening and being
mm,
rude. So
yeah.
yeah, that's actually a really good point. Um, what do I want to ask? Um,
I think with the expectation comes that no, I don't know if that's disappointment either. Like you have the internet and you have all the pages and YouTube videos and all the single guides that you could just check up. And
right.
we have got a lot of good feedbacks from our tactic sheets that we do for every phase.
Hmm.
And all that combined, and still we have people who don't know the certain stuff or just like basic mechanics.
Yeah,
But
well, these
but
people are
that's
everywhere.
just part of who we are. We are not kicking here like people out because of that.
Yeah, I totally get that because some people are not gonna change, even if
Yeah,
you
yeah.
take their hand and move it across the mouse and the keyboard.
Mm,
They're not gonna play better. But as
yeah,
long as
yeah.
they don't have a negative attitude or be a dick,
Yeah, I guess it's mostly about um, well, you cannot you don't have to spend a lot of time because this is a game after all. I mean, yeah,
You don't have to. That's
Yaz is not an example. You're not an example. You're the what's it called? The whatever. You're not the example.
okay.
You're different. You're built different. Um, because you do spend a lot of time, but Uh, is this something that you do you expect that from other people? I mean, I constantly like go back and forth about it because I too spend some time, some of my free time to get better at what I'm doing,
Mm-hmm.
and that involves World of Warcraft and me playing it.
Mm.
So sometimes I do get like mad when people don't, but then
Mm.
Yeah,
I'm
but you're
sitting there
short.
thinking,
You're short fused, so it doesn't matter.
But yes, there's
yeah,
just
I
that
am short
you're
fused.
you're um frustrated.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it something that is this a thing that people should be frustrated about? Should I? Because I go back and forth on it, and I'm
Mm.
like, because I do it, does that mean that everyone has to do it in a sense?
Mm.
Um,
But
I don't know.
that's why it's easy when you have a dad guild, because then we all suck at the same time.
You don't suck.
Similarly, so
you
we
don't
all
suck, dude.
suck.
No, I mean you cannot suck and be like 40 out of 54 in Ulduar. That's impossible. You can't just suck and be like that good. So I think that you're this is where I want to go now. You never use the word hardcore. You never use the word semi-hardcore. You use your
No.
very own special term. You
Yes.
call it dadcore, right?
No.
So
We have used a deadly series
deadly
for
serious. There you go.
yeah
Yeah.
for like 2 years, and just recently my officer told me that, oh, this is a dadcore guild, and I was like, oh, well, I like that as well. So now we did put that up to our recruitment messages. But I like that as well,
Yeah,
because
they're both amazing, actually.
I actually started to get DMs about the Deadly Serious Guild. Someone saying, you are spelling deadly wrong. And it's
Oh
like,
God.
dude,
What?
Get
this
out of
is
my face.
dad. This
You
is my
missed the
dad
point.
joke.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
Yeah, you can join Sparks. I mean, if you if you go ahead and say that, I mean, you're out. You're out.
Yep.
What's the definition in the end? Because um, I can think. I don't know why I'm having an aneurysm. I can go into someone's shoes right now who is looking for a guild. Because I was that person at some point, right? And I
Mhm.
kept looking around, and everybody was using terms like hardcore, or
Mm.
semi-hardcore and stuff. And it seems like everyone has their own definition over,
Yes.
those terms.
I I kind of got annoyed once when I saw a recruitment post of a guild that said that they are that guild, and they had like 50 out of 54. And I was like, what the
Oh,
fuck is the that part in that?
Yeah.
Hey, you can't. And then I think they had some sort of Bing server, this and this, or whatever it was. Like,
yeah,
that's
what a
so.
dad guild.
That's so. You're taking the name that comes. Like, that is tied to us slackers. We don't want to be that. Like, we don't want to have the pressure to process and be like that good, and you're taking that away by using that same word when you could seriously be like semi-hardcore or whatever, even hardcore with that team.
Yeah, I'm seeing that term being used a lot, especially in YouTube vids,
Yeah.
just a casual dad guild cleaning all older in 1 hour or so.
Yeah, indeed. That's insane. Like, let us be the dads that we are.
I mean, you're tiptoeing into the hardcore territory. I gotta say, more than your in terms of achievements. I've never raided with you guys, so I don't know how the atmosphere is. But in terms of achievements, one could say that you're not really a dad guild in their eyes, but I guess everybody has their own definition for it. So
I would say that if you ask any of the guildies from the raid team, none of them
Mhm.
would say that we are hardcore or even close to that.
I see.
we have
So
a
that's
lot of
through and through.
we have a lot of special people in our guild, in our raid roster.
Wow. I don't know. Yaz, I'm kind of turning into a fanboy myself, honestly. Not just Alex.
I
So
think
See,
you need to.
I told you.
I think you need to make a character and join the guild now, so you can be there in our raids.
that's one thing. That's one thing about me. I
Please don't.
can maintain a second character. It's
Please,
I
please
just can't.
don't be melee.
No more melees, guys. We're fine. We're like 20 out of 25. No more melees. We're okay. We're doing good. All right. Before we wrap this up, because I think we've been an hour, and honestly, I'd love
It didn't
to.
feel like.
I
Yeah, it
told
didn't
you
even
it
feel
would
like
take
true.
like 5 hours.
um Spoiler alert, we might in the future, at least I hope that we do, we might have a convo with you and the other admins of the Mirage Raceway Discord, because honestly I'm really interested into that. It's a huge endeavor to actually be able to manage that on top of managing a billion people like you do in your life. So have you thought of a moment of you know, your most favorite
The
out of 3 years, the
Ah,
moment?
oh, I have so many, and you just said that we have been here 1 hour already.
Okay, go with like top three, you know, whatever.
Okay. Oh shit, this is even harder.
Because now I have to rank them. That's even harder.
yeah.
You can take as
Shit.
much time as you like, honestly.
Yeah, you can clip this and take my half an hour away.
Yeah, pretty much. I have an hour of silence.
I want to say before I start
Hmm.
with my top three, that in TPC, we haven't done that anymore. But for
Mhm.
example, in TPC, when we were struggling a lot, we took a screenshot of every boss kill, like the first time we killed the boss,
Ah, that's so sweet.
because those were still like, oh my god, we did it! Even though when it
Yeah,
was just whatever,
yeah.
and certain shrine cavers, come on, everyone was doing that. But we took a picture of all those kills because that was important for us that we were able to do that. And we took a picture of every one of us in there. We still had taken those few, but not as much. But because all of those memories are pretty
Yeah,
nice.
it will always take you back to that moment, you know,
Yeah,
like you felt.
yeah. And we have
Ah,
had a lot of
you're such a
those.
nice person. You're such a nice person.
Yeah, just wait to see me raiding. Uh, and we have had a lot of awesome moments in our guild events as well, because we have had hide and seek, and we have had death traces and everything. I think one of the most memorable was when we left Hydraxian. We decided when Blizzard announced that they are going to have this option to transfer away, and they would let people know later on, and yada yada yada. When
Mhm.
that was posted, we knew exactly that okay, we're going to leave, and we knew we were gonna come to Mirage, and we started preparing. We started prepping. Everyone was packing up, so to say, and Blizzard announced that one day, the 1 week later, that oh, today at 8 p.m. we're gonna open this transfer, and we were like, oh shit. Everyone was panicking on the server because they thought that they're gonna announce like, okay, in 2 weeks we're gonna open this up. But we were prepared. So we had this choo-choo train in our Grimmer. We were going the circle and leaving the server one by one to
Wow.
Mirage. We were on our mounts, and yeah, that was pretty cool. We also had the farewell party. We drank the shit off us in Booty Bay and drank ourselves to the bay. Our ghosts are forever in Hydraxian.
Wow, that's
And
grim. That's scary. A little bit.
we did love the server, but then it was really hard to be on that one.
And
So
you even kept the name Sparks, right? That's one other story I would like to hear one day.
yeah,
How the name came up and how you kept it.
I don't know because I didn't make that.
Yeah, I mean, when you transferred, you could change to whatever you
Oh
wanted,
yeah,
right?
that's true. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I never thought of that.
I never thought
Imagine.
of that.
I never thought of that.
That is true. Yeah,
So, Yaz, you're.
I didn't feel that
Mhm.
that I own this guild. I'm just a guild master. I don't own this. We own this
Yeah, but
together. This is a community. That's why I never felt like, oh, I need to change. What that could even be? It would feel so wrong to change something that we haven't been already. And so many people transferred with us from our raid roster. When Wrath got released, just no, at the end of TBC, let's say, all of our healers had been since I recruited them. All the healers that in that team was the ones that I recruited 2 years ago. So we had really sustainable group, especially with the healers. And I usually don't refer to the guilds as my guilds. It's us.
our guild.
Yeah.
Here comes a meme with Bugs Bunny and the Soviet era flag in the background. Our guild. I mean, honestly, you should really be proud of yourself. It's what you're doing sounds really hard. I personally could have never even approached the dedication that you're actually offering to other people. I mean, it's not like you're offering it to the community, being constantly online and helping other people, maintaining an amazing atmosphere, an amazing culture over at Sparks, while also being, an admin on the Mirage Reshaway Discord. I mean, I don't know. You're probably a hero for this server.
Come
I'm just gonna
on.
go ahead and say that you're probably a hero for the server.
I would like to
honestly.
hear the reaction of Yaz's guild members listening to the podcast.
I'm gonna say like, oh god, if people start to leave the guilds now, it's your fault.
Nah. That's not gonna happen. You've said the you know the groundworks for it, so it's not gonna happen. You care as much as you have to. So
I mean, really, even after listening to this, what you said this our conversation. If I was a new guy, just moving to Midas Raceway, Sparks would be the guild to go. Really.
yeah, sounds like a really great atmosphere, honestly. And this is your moment before we close off to do any shout outs that you might want to do to your guild or whoever. A few thank yous. Thanks to my mom. Thanks to my family that actually that are okay with me.
Like an Oscar nomination. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me pull out my list. I want to thank you. No, I do want to thank my officers because when I started putting up the guild in 2020, I still think those people I added as an officers, they still are officers. So they have traveled with me all this time. So it wasn't just me, it was the guild and the officers as well. And one of them is the newest one, but that was like already 1 year or something.
Mm-hmm.
So they are all really hey, shush! The dog was started to
Oh,
beg
I
for
can see the raid
attention.
leading. I can see the raid leading. Yeah.
Yep.
Right there.
Yep.
Yeah, they have done really good work, and also all the people as the socials and raiders as well that are still here with us. They are awesome.
Man,
I mean,
we
I
could
mean,
get a
if I
part
don't like
two.
you, I will just kick you out.
I mean,
Fun to happen.
this is the bottom line. This is the bottom line, guys. If I don't like you, you're out. I mean,
Next time, the next podcast would be Yaz, the villain origin. You know.
yeah, my evil clone or something. All right. Yaz, thanks for being here.
I
Honestly,
almost forgot to say something. That reminded me.
go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't know if you knew the meme about Sparks disbanding. I don't know
No.
if you have heard
Oh, no.
about it. So when we came to the server and we had those 10 people that left, I wrote to the GM and officer area, I think, about like, oh, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? We're gonna disband. And they were like, yeah, it's gonna be fine, and just recruit people and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, okay, well, fuck it then. We're gonna survive it. Just gonna stick with the socials and all that kind of stuff. And it became a big meme that Sparks is disbanding, and it started to grow its own life. Like every expansion and all these phases that we have, it's always Sparks is disbanding. How many have you now? And we started to do this like, oh, it's Sparks 7.0 now. And people got so involved with that, like it became a huge thing. And now they're asking, like, oh, what is Sparks now? We're Sparks 8.0. And when we had the April's Fool Day, I asked my officers, like, okay, do you have any ideas what we're gonna do? And one of my officers came with the idea that we are so bored with numbering ourselves as Sparks 7.0 or 8.0 that we are just gonna add one S in front of the name every time. So now we are Sparks.
That's amazing. That's amazing. By the way, I'm gonna make myself a T-shirt. Sparks are disbanding.
Yeah, really.
If you ever happen to be on the Horde side in Uldur on those raid days when they're raiding on Thursday or Sunday, and there's Sarima, there's gonna be at least once in Uldur chat, Sparks is disbanding! F! Like, thank you for keeping it alive.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. We're gonna have to keep this meme alive for forever.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. Yaz, you're amazing. You're a wonderful person. I'd love to chat with you for like ages. You have, I don't know. You're very, very experienced, and you're a very passionate person and a very patient person as well.
Hi, sorry.
You're,
What was that?
yeah. You're very passionate and very experienced. I mean, you can cough and laugh all you want, but you are.
Let's keep it that, but cut the patience off.
Well, you've been a guild master for 3 years.
Who's the fanboy now? Huh?
No, honestly, I think that every guy every player, or every person who believes that in this server at least that they don't really have a place, or maybe their guild is not a community, or they're raid looking too much, give Sparks a try. Sounds like they're a great bunch of people. They've kept it alive for so long, and I think maybe you're the real classic, World of Warcraft classic. And kudos to you.
Experience.
The classic experience, yeah. Kudos to you and to your officers and to all the amazing people that you got there. Thanks for tuning in and listening. Thanks, Yaz, again for being here.
So much.
It was an amazing experience.
It was.
We'll see you guys again in probably say 2 weeks. Although I don't want to. Yeah, I don't know. But let's just say 2 weeks. We got some real nice stuff coming up. And show some love to Sparks. And good night or good evening or good morning, wherever you guys are and listening.
Thank you so
Amaranth,
much.
you want to say something?
It's just like,
I'm,
are you
I-
still talking about me?
I-
Like, I don't. Well, I'm a Finnish person. We don't take compliments. If you say, "Oh, you
Oh,
have a nice haircut,"
oh,
it's
I
like,
know.
"Oh, no, no." It's like, so it's really weird to feel or even hear these things, and also like people take granted stuff like tactics or guild sheet or how the guild functions and all that kind of, because they expect that to be so. So it's just there. Someone does the job. So it's really nice to like, oh, am I actually doing all that?
Yeah, but
You deserve it. Honestly, you've earned it.
all I'm gonna say is that when phase 3 hits, or even phase 4, and with whatever version of Sparks, no, it's Sparks
A billion point
11.2
oh.
Pro Max, yeah, whatever it is, we are gonna have another chat with Yaz for sure.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Yes, thanks again.
Thank you
I'm
so
gonna
much.
I'm gonna stop Mr. Craig here.